Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Megan, and this channel is all about the Immanuel approach, how to consistently become aware of the loving, living, interactive presence of Immanuel, who is God with us. This episode is going to be more about joy. You are the sparkle in God's eye. And I want you to just take a moment to take that in. You are the sparkle in God's eye. In all my years in the church, I've never heard a sermon that tells me I'm the sparkle in God's eye. God designed our brains for joy. And you know what He wants? He wants us to bask in the glow of His love and His delight. So take a moment and bask. So joy does not exist outside of relationship. Joy is actually relational connection. So put those two together. God designed our brains for joy, and joy is relational connection. Isn't that incredible? That is the desire of the heart of Father, Son, and Spirit for us, to be in joyful relational connection with God. And joy is the sense that someone is glad to be with me. It's being the spark or sparkle in someone's eye. And so we can experience that not only with one another and with children, but also with God Himself. Isn't that incredible? So the whole goal of the Immanuel approach is to get us to experience this sense that Immanuel is always delighted to be with us, no matter what is going on in our life. Joy is absolutely essential to cultivating a secure bond or a secure attachment with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. And that is the goal of Immanuel. So we want to nurture a loving bond with God until we actually have no fear in our relationship with God. And that's the journey that I am on right now. And I invite you into that journey. This is what the beloved Trinity desires for us. And so you know, if you've been following my channel for any length of time, you know that I love to harp on about the right brain and left brain. One of my authors that I read a couple years ago talks about being brains on a stick, James K.A. Smith. And we are not just brains on a stick. But I think often in the West, it feels like that, right? But interestingly, joy is to be felt in our bodies. And unfortunately, we've kind of been cut off from our bodily sensations in our modern churches and in our faith experience. And so, well, some faith experiences, because some of the streams of the church are actually more embodied, as I'm beginning to understand. And so we want to begin to integrate with our bodies. So our right brain is where we feel our emotions and awareness of those bodily sensations. So feeling joy in our bodies is an indication that our right brains are running well, that they're running smoothly. Joy is the essential ingredient that our brains need to run well, and it's like fuel for our brains. So it's so important for us to have joy. But some of us may not have ever had someone's eyes light up to meet us, or the sense that we were the sparkle in someone's eyes. And that was my experience. And I am currently working through that with Immanuel, and he is healing that and actually becoming the person that I feel is delighted when I'm with him. He's delighted in me, and it's becoming more and more my felt experience. So I am on this journey of recovering, being joy-filled, and cultivating that joy. I'm right there with you if you didn't have that experience. And so again, I just want to let you know that we can begin right now to cultivate joy in our life. And in fact, I implore you to do so because it's so good for our bodies, our brains, and our mental health. So how do we do this? We collect joy, we collect gratitude, we collect appreciation. And so start looking for moments of joy, appreciation, gratitude in your day, and recalling those moments. And you can even name them. And as you're recalling those moments, you want to pay attention to what you're noticing in your body. So let me give you an example. This joy story is called Orange Blossoms. So right outside my kitchen window, there is an orange tree. And right now the orange blossoms are in bloom. And it is alive with activity. And if you just begin to quiet and look at the tree, all of a sudden you can see it's just bursting with movement and humming and buzzing. And you can even see the hummingbirds start in and out. The smell is intoxicating. It's sweet and inviting. And as I watch this tree with the movement and the beauty and the blossoms, I feel a shalom settling over my body and a smile playing on my lips. And I am just enjoying the wonder and delight of God's creation right outside my kitchen window. That's an example of collecting a joy story. So I can recall this joy moment anytime. Lately, I've been doing it as I fall asleep and as I wake up in the morning. And so you can practice this any time, standing in line at Trader Joe's, while you're driving on the freeway frustrated in traffic, however and whenever you feel the need for a little joy burst in your life. So I encourage you to do this. And actually, it's such a blast, let me tell you. The more that you notice these joy moments, the more you're going to notice these joy moments. Share it with others. This actually solidifies your experience sharing with others. And an easy way that I just learned is how you can share is 2 feeling words and 1 bodily sensation. So you'll notice in my story, that's what I did. 2 feeling words. I felt shalom and awe, and I felt peace settling on my shoulders and a smile playing on my lips. Notice how you feel as you share joy. This is a communal practice. Shared joy is amplified joy. And I want to say that again. Shared joy is amplified joy. And just even notice how it feels to share the joy and how it feels to hear joy from others. So I want you to just take a moment and imagine God looking at you with sheer delight. How does that feel? If it feels uncomfortable, I totally understand. Notice and share with Immanuel, and then listen for his response. If this feels delightful to you, notice that. Notice where you feel that delight in your body and share with Immanuel and notice his response. Happy practicing. Please let me know how your cultivating joy practice is going. I would love to share with you and hear your joy. Thank you so much for being with me.